in order to have that in life, in order to have the why, the strong enough why, we need to consistently reassess what our goals are. And what better way to do it than to surround yourself with incredible people? One of the more beautiful things about taking up a leadership position in life is when you get to see your team grow. And at the end of the day, for me, that's a big, big part of why I do any of the stuff that I do, making sure that I'm actually being useful to society. And every single time I think of the growth that I've gone through in the last year, I know that it's required a significant amount of effort and a significant amount of hours put in. And I know that where I want to go is going to require even more effort and even more hours. In order to have that in life, in order to have the why, the strong enough why, we need to consistently reassess what our goals are. And what better way to do it than to surround yourself with incredible people? So I'm making this video on the outside of Cardone Ventures in Scottsdale, Arizona. I just went to a 2-day essentially masterclass on business. I mean, you would learn more about business here than you probably learned in 4 years of college pretty easy, because it's being taught by people that know what they're talking about. And they give us this amazing book, I'll show you right now, where it goes through all of the intricacies that we need to be thinking about as business owners, as leaders. And on top of that, we got to see tremendous leadership right in front of us. We got to see how to execute at scale an incredible event that's incredibly productive in terms of generating revenue for a company, but also in terms of building the culture of a place. So this is the little book that they gave us. There's all of these pages just full of activities and information. They got us to fill it out. Just absolutely stunning experience. And the cool part is, unlike some of these larger companies where we don't get to see the CEO, where we don't get to see, the systems and operations directors, where we don't get to see the implementers, here everyone, since we're at their HQ, we get to see all of their internals working together. So we were in the basement in G2, and then on the 5th floor is their office, where actually the happy hour is happening right now. I'll go right afterwards. And man, just seeing the culture, the way that they have structured their companies, and the leadership and the vision that was required in order to make it come to the point that it's at now, and actually go to the point that they want to take it, that Brandon and Natalie and all of the leaders that want to take it there, it's really, really inspiring. So I would always give this advice to anyone: go and find who is the authority in the market, in the thing that you're trying to figure out, whatever it is in life, if it's spirituality, if it's working out, having an amazing physique, if it's deep water diving, if it's skydiving, if it's being in aerospace, whatever it is, go find the person that's going to give you the information to be able to build the wealth in your life, to be able to execute on your vision of it. So leadership in general, I got to bring a dope team, an absolutely stunning team. My business partner, ZDT Entertainment Studios CEO, Zachary Thornton, he brought his marketing coordinator. I brought an intern from the Tarabify Network from Ohio State University, a finance major named Jacob King, who is going to be an absolute stunner, along with many of the incredible people that are in the internship network. I'm just absolutely thrilled that I get to spend so much quality time with these people. And unlike, I don't know if you guys feel this a lot, but when you're a leader, when you're trying to build something out in society, and when you're trying to build something out in your personal life, your personal goals, there's a lot of times where we go to these parties, we go to events, where we go to things that aren't necessarily aligned with what we're trying to learn. And having those 2 days of time where you just sink in and you just absorb information, it's an incredible gift for the thinker, the visionary, the person that's really trying to move things forward. And give that gift to yourself. At the end of the day, when it comes to giving presents to people, I think the greatest gift that we can give is our time. But our time only really comes down to value when we value ourselves, to build ourselves and change ourselves as human beings, right? Jim Rohn said something really beautiful about the concept of give and take. He said it broke for him. Jim Rohn, by the way, is someone that's inspired me quite a bit. He's passed away now, but he was the mentor for Tony Robbins, and he's an incredible speaker. Would totally suggest subscribing to any accounts that show his old videos. They're a great introduction into leadership and following through and making sure that we have these beautiful visions. But he was basically like, listen, when it comes to give and take, I stopped saying that I'll give this to you and you give this to me. Instead, he started saying, you do me the favor of becoming 10 times more valuable, 10 times more productive, 10 times more amazing, and I'll give you the gift of improving myself by being 10 times more impressive in every single way that I can. And that's kind of boils down to that time thing. When we give people that time, right, what is that time worth? It's all of the time that we've invested in ourselves, making ourselves a funnier, more attractive human being, a more business-minded, financially literate person that actually has funds to be able to contribute to fundamental things that people are trying to do, someone that has a knowledge and awareness of the world around them, someone that has curiosity and the ability to go and learn and be humble. All of these things are learned over years of just grinding out and really finding that true potential in ourselves and wanting to bring it out. And frankly speaking, as the economy changes and as America changes, the world changes, we're going to be given infinite opportunities, really, to expand our horizons and to make that life that we want to live. It's just a matter of who we spend our time with, how many books we read, how many interviews we do, how many mentors we get, and how much we're willing to take that risk and invest in ourselves. There's this concept that people are like, oh, it's really risky to invest in something. And my philosophy is the least risky thing is to invest in ourselves. Because when we become valuable enough as a leader in society, right, there is a certain amount that we're going to get regardless, based on our prowess, based on our understanding of the world. There's a certain amount that the free economy will pay us for being that person. And you might think to yourself, well, Tarab, you're talking about leadership. Where does pay have to fall into this? Well, frankly, we're not as humans conditioned to follow those that we don't want to be like. And most of the time, the people that we want to be like are financially free, right? There are people that understand the more complicated intricacies of how humans are valued in, the parts of the world that really matter, the parts that show up on the news, the parts that people dream of being in. And so what I say about the money thing is, if you're afraid of it, it's all the more reason to get into it now. Go read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, get yourself educated, and make sure that you as a leader have the funds, the stability, the growth tactics to actually be able to inspire people. So a lot of the conversations that we had after our first day were about the takeaways that we had. And I set a really standard procedure for them because I paid for everything. I wanted to make sure that, well, not everything, they paid for their own flights and all of this, but I wanted to make sure that we walked away from here with a bunch of contacts. And the reason that I prioritized that is because for my intern, for Jacob, I wanted to make sure that he's really capitalizing on his ability to speak to strangers and to get close to them and to understand where they're coming from. Because I'm a dentist, even if it doesn't pan out in some sort of monetary gain, the more people you know, the more wealthy you are. Because if those people want to know you, if those people want to stay connected, if they remember you, there's an amount of connection that by virtue of knowing someone, you can connect someone that needs their services, their help, their philosophy in life. And that makes all the difference in terms of moving relationships along, moving trust along. So our goal the first day was 10 contacts each, which would have landed in 30 contacts. We basically hit that number. There was one person that fell a little short. Today, our goal is 15. So that also shows it's very, very important to have that philosophy where, listen, I'm going to gun for something that's all the way out there that I haven't seen before, some new horizons, some sort of, beautiful thing that this world has to offer. And the reason that we need to have those massive visions is so that we actually move from where we're at, so we have a change in perspective. And as leaders, that's really, really important. You have to learn these things through going through the tribulations, the trials. You have to learn these things by, trying to give those lessons and getting better at communication and softening when we're harsh and toughening up when people don't necessarily meet our requirements. There's a lot of moving parts in trying to figure out who we are as human beings. And it's made a drastic difference in my life to get out of that realm of doing the bare bones basics and trying to hold myself to the standards of people that, you know, for a long time in my life represented what life is, right? Like my mom, my uncles, my aunts, all the people that I've seen being successful in life. My goal is to blow that success out of the water, not as a way to show them that I'm this great, you know, human being, whatever, but really just to affect some sort of change in this world. Like how many of you watching this video are probably thinking to yourself, yeah, like at some point, you know, I wanted to change the world, and then I realized how hard it was, you know, or I realized that, not even realized, but people really put you down, right? And so the goal is always to be your number one fan. Alex Hormozy talks about this a lot, where it's just a long grind of one person, which is your psyche, sitting in a theater and just slow clapping, like, good job, like you did it, you know, you're moving. And that happens for a long time. And then we build, and we slowly get a little bit better. And sooner or later, there's other people around that are also joining in the applause, you know? And it always comes down to actually having that intuition, that desire to help change things for the better. So hopefully this message has inspired you. If it did, you know, smash that like button. I make videos like this all the time, and frankly, I'm going to expand to quite a large empire at some point. So if you want to connect in a business sense, you know, if we're picking up 40 to 60 contacts per conference that we go to, and we go to 3+ conferences, you best bet I probably know someone that can be of use to you. So let me know. That's what the Terabify Network's about. That's what this personal brand is about. It's about making the world a little bit smaller. It's about connecting society. So actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. And let's connect sometime. Take care.